I found that find that interesting is just like, I'm always finding what I want and finding kind of what I believe is absent in myself in the moment.
Mm. Yeah, it's that totally resonates. 'Cause I think my thing was like any suffering was just a belief in lack of time. Like just
Ah,
things like days, like okay, I only have this many hours in a day, got to do this,
yeah.
how it feels, the food sequences, and so yeah, I think same thing is just like letting go control. It's like I feel like just the pings and the intuition will give like, okay, this is time for just fully present in this call or something, or like fully present in studying or in a guitar flow. But yeah, it does nothing else matters. And you always have like time, like it always comes back to what you really want. But it's almost like the ego is like blindsided. It's like, no, I gotta do it this way, my way.
Uh, uh-huh. Yeah, or like for me, it's like, or else they're not gonna get it. Or then I get into this like weird, I don't feel it overtly, but I've seen it subvertly, like this savior complex. I gotta bring my family with me,
I gotta do it.
but
Gotta
it's like that's just a fool's errand and just seeing them in an untrue way.
yeah. I
Uh,
kind of yeah, I find that too. It's like talking about the flow, right? Like you'll feel when you're flowing in alignment, but then it's kind of like with habit, it's almost like you expose things. And it's almost like shit. Am I like doing? Is this wrong? Like it just feels like is this potentially screwing up the momentum or the presenceness? And it's like, should I expose? Should I talk to this? And it's like, like they could feel like you're holding on to something. It's like shit.
right. Until it's just like coming out of all pores.
All right, this is what I
I
really
guess it's time.
like a light body active.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like all necessary components to bring you to, what you know now, as a vehicle of service, a
Mm.
unique perspective that's probably necessary for what you're here to bring in that's never been here before because it has no past template.
Yeah. So it's like new, right? Like new and fresh or like innovation or revealing. Mhm. Something that also resonated was like we have soul fragments. Like there's 12 different versions of ourselves that kind of like are in
Mm.
like parallel, I guess you'd say dimensions or just parallel lives actually. And then it's almost like we're accessing them, tuning in. And it's like all their abilities are like they're living simultaneously. So it's like kind of like their antennas for us as like one whole soul. It's like we're working together. Like you have 12, I have 12, and then somehow there's like this bigger divine plan.
It's exponential power, yeah, of joining and connection. Yeah.
Integrate and integrate jellyfish tentacles.
That's cool. I didn't know about that, but intuitively it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, consistent with some of my experiences. So yeah, it's really cool. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's like 12 or, like if 12 is including us as like one of the 12 or it's 13. But that's an interesting number, like 12 and 13 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But mm, it feels it feels relevant. It's almost like there's like an opening of like wanting to visually see it. Because I definitely had some like meditations and dreams too of like certain lives, but I think maybe it's like brushing it off. But I feel like, yeah, like our higher self knows what needs to be known. And I do feel like the telepathy seems to be like coming online a lot more faster. And like the theme of just like ease and joy. It doesn't like we're done with the making it work and making it really hard.
Yeah, getting brownie part points for how much, yeah, you kind of work through it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You did the most with.
That's right. I'm worthy now.
Yeah, I did it for heaven.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's like also just I think yeah, the theme of like really opening to that support has been big for me, for the last month or so, and just in that meditation, like just having that as like a palpable witnessing of the availability and kind of like ineffability of like it being here now, regardless of if I'm pushing it away or accepting it. It's like it's here and like what it actually means to receive it. There's been more of a unwinding around that, starting from like an intellectualization of like sitting down, stop thinking, receive it, to just this softening and this gentle heart opening around, you know, being worthy to have it now and opening and letting it express in ways that are exciting for me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, the worthiness, like receiving. It's like, oh, it's so easy, but I still have to work for it or something. Just like receiving.
yeah, and like I think the switch has been for me, and again, this is like just this ever expanding fractal. So it just, it's just like bigger and bigger, but it's all the same thing, and more joy, but still joy. It's just the realization that like what I am opening to is the frequency of myself. It's here now, regardless of anything.
And to add to that, I feel like just the name of it, it's like there's more Andy, it's like the whole
Yeah,
path. Yeah. It's like more
more
than
Andy, more Andy.
it's not like yeah, it's like there's yeah, extreme value in our personality and the individualness, soulness, higher selfness. And that's awesome. Yeah, I think just and it's like it reflects too. It's like the more I see you and yourself, like the more Andy you are, it's like the more Randy I can be or something, like vice versa. Or like whoever, yeah, like anyone that's like more of their self kind of reflects back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then at the same time, like that meditation showed me, I think what was powerful about it, like at the beginning, was I realized how much force I was putting into like essentially hurting the cats. That's the Andy.
I missed the last thing you said, the
Like
cat.
hurting like cats in like all this force I was putting into like controlling all of these split off aspects of Andy,
Mm,
like all the edges, all the roughness, like trying to fix it. And like all of those people there symbolically were like all of the reflections of myself. And and so yeah, it's just such an interesting phenomena of stepping into the frequency of me, but then also like letting go of this like inner war with trying to fix anything about myself.
yeah, I'm seeing all the like the weirdness or judgments of like myself is actually part of my structure or something. It's like just integrating it, like all those, yeah, judgment quirks. And it's almost like, yeah, coming back to like family conditioning, it's like the me that wanted to just express was really me, but then, it was like punished by like, you can't do that, you can't see that, don't do this, you got to do this. Like that's the underlying thing. Like
Yeah,
it was actually part of me, or the music, whatever.
yeah.
Now what they name.
Mm,
Noticing, yeah, it's like so, something also resonating of like how we think too is very like I'd say like the sum of like our parallel lives too is like there's a reason why we think a certain way. It's like very past life oriented or like personality structure oriented.
mm,
So that kind of resonated too. It's not just like this is just the ego thought system. This is divine holy thought system. I feel like yeah, like there's truth into yeah, just like the intricacies of yeah our self and our mission, like parallel lives, etc. That's like very personal and like
mm.
subjective. And then also the highest service, like once we're accepting it as like our own unique gifts and yeah, personality structure.
Yeah, it's cool. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's all in service. Yeah. There's like so, and I'm seeing the unfoldment of this, and I just keep saying it because I think I need to hear it. There's just been so much energy in trying to fix something that's not broken.
As you said that, it's like something like an analytical thing, but it's like not me, real me. It feels like, like my dad's voice or something.
Yeah. Right?
So it's like that just feels like exposed. Yeah, there's one for me. It's like, is this safe? Like my dad saying, like, is this safe? Like, are you sure? Like, that's a lot. Or like my mom saying, that's expensive. These little like,
Ah, how'd you get in there?
there's no lack. I have the violet flame, Saint Germain. Purify.
Yeah, that's what it takes, Randy.
You're like,
You getting out, or I'm violent flaming you out.
everything just get like
The violent flamethrower.
violet flame, roses and violet flames. Any dot you don't disagree with. Vaporize.
Combined war.
Have you seen Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah,
That reminded me, I was like, wow, that's literally like going Super Saiyan, the yellow flame or blue flame. It's just a
that's
yellow.
right. Yeah, I'll go Saint Germain.
Yeah, it's a different density, This is for green, green purple.
That's right. They're like, I understand you and I love you.
I understand you. I love you.
I love myself.
Spirit book. This is what it takes. Only difference is like instead of them training really hard and like the joy of fighting, it's like the joy of just like making it really easy. One
That's right. Like, yeah, they just fight with their pinky.
use. the creator. Uh,
That'll be our reboot, dude. We'll reboot that
like,
Dragon Ball reboot, fourth density.
yeah, there's a show on Netflix. I think it was, yeah, it's like the Dragon Ball where they turned everyone to children. So it's like really like
Oh,
cute and like silly and yeah, still has like the essence of Dragon Ball. Like, all the characters. It's fun, yeah. And I like how they like characterize demons and like the demon world. It's like not really scary. It's like, it's just they kind of like characterize it as just characters. Yeah. Play around.
mm, mm, mm. Well, what's the inspiration been for you over the last week or so since we talked last? What you've been enjoying?
Yeah, day by day, it seems like it changes. I think there was a part where I felt like very inspired, like musically, like I wanted to like learn more about like rhythms and intervals, and then that felt like right. And then yeah, just kind of lost that. I think there was a time I felt like very inspired about basketball and like Luka Doncic coming to LA, and then
Yeah, wild.
yeah,
Time,
yeah,
timeline jump.
purple and gold, just like NBA heaven kind of thing. And yeah, just like kind
Yeah,
of just amazing. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like
nice. So you're kind of trying on a lot of things this week. It's been fun.
yeah, feels yeah, I don't know. It's like it's weird. It's almost like during the day it feels like an intention of like I'm gonna do this for, as hard as I can. And then it feels like complete like half a day or even a day, and then the next day is completely like the focus is something different. And then sometimes I think I used to be just like, oh man, this is weird. But I think I'm just like I feel like it's supposed to be like kind of like preparing me for something, it feels like
Mhm.
because it's not because I feel like there's a lot of inspiring artists and they would just like say they would just do one thing, over like they would just focus all their energy on like one thing and craft. And it's almost like there's like a judgment, a subtle judgment. It's like, damn, I don't. I mean, I used to have that for like basketball, but it's just not as excitement. So I'm going with the intuition and like as soon as the excitement stops, I just kind of go on to the next breadcrumb trail. And that's been working. I think it's just um, yeah, just communication. Like sometimes I have talks with people and then kind of get like quote unquote triggered or like some insecurity comes up, traumas, etc. And I do feel like the fulfillment in kind of like seeing that and seeing little like bits and pieces. And then sometimes, yeah, the energy, the creative energy just comes back full force and energy. But yeah, it's almost like knowing that there is infinite creativity and I will always be able to do what I want to do. But sometimes, yeah, like spirit kind of like spotlights stuff of like, look at this because it's probably bringing suffering. And it's like, if you release it, you have an even more, overall well-being or something.
Mm.
And yeah, I kind of it's been more like trusting and flowing. But yeah, lots of like weird energies, intense energies of like yeah, relationships or like kind of like getting to feeling yeah, judging myself for being like too personal, like sharing my not like my
Mm.
myself or like hearing someone and it feels like, is this right? Like, is this what I really want? Like is this kind
Mm.
of like judging the human
Mm.
experience kind of thing.
Mm.
But I think the intention over the last like year was just like more intimacy, you know what I mean? So it's like as
Mhm.
it is, but it's almost like sometimes it's not as fulfilling or something. So it's like just like these thoughts of like, and sometimes it is like it always is. Yeah, I love the saying you said like this or something better. It's just this or something.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like, yeah, you're really honoring yourself by kind of following those little portals of excitement that open you to the flow, that's always here, but can be elusive if we're looking for it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like too much, you know, just like too much activity or yeah, again, trying to do something like making it hard, like unnecessarily hard. And yeah, kind of like putting that pressure, etc. Um, and not allowing myself to enjoy myself, the little things. It's almost like when I enjoy myself, there was like this sense of guilt kind of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, like releasing.
Mm. Yeah, it's really courageous. Like allowing yourself to be seen, like regardless of, what arises.
Yeah, I've like yeah, as you pointed out, I think there's some cycles I feel like I'd be just flowing, right? But then I like like when I see the face, it doesn't like feel like me a lot of times
Mm.
when I see the camera or video. So it's like not I think that's kind of it too. It's like not fully seeing myself or like integrating that. Like even though it could be like great service to do that, you know what I mean? But it's
Mm.
almost like flow is over here and not in here or something, just like being with my body.
Mm. Mm.
And then yeah, like
Yeah,
like infinite explorations there too when I like go into the body, it feels like too of just certain associations or openings. But it's like I think consciously giving myself time for that.
well, that's what I feel for you, and just in the short amount of time that we've been talking, it's like there's a massive amount of, like there's been a big expansion for you, feel that in your field, and just seems like there's an integration phase that's afoot. It always goes beyond words, right? We can't really articulate that.
Yeah, exactly. So how can you evolving integration for all of
Yeah, and I'm feeling a lot. I guess maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but what I've felt for myself is a big shift. And there's like this kind of a gentle, soft listlessness in these moments where like the mind is trying to get its footing in the unknown.
it?
And like for me, I can see it as grabbing onto a lot of these things as far as like what's bringing me joy, what did I do in the past that's worked, and it's like none of it's gonna work the way the way it has anymore.
They're saying it's like completely fresh. Like that was like the intuition. It's like it's gonna be completely.
Yeah, yeah, or just seen in a different way, but the paradigms that were previously used to understand it in the fullness, fall short.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I kind of seeing this pattern in myself of like like wanting to do good and but like that even has its limitation, like wanting to transmute. Like let's just say I have like, I have subtle fears about like criminals or people with like tattoos or gangsters or like they're sentenced murders. And I feel bad that I have a friend who's like good with that. Like she's like just not like that probably where she just has like for that energy. I feel like in a parallel life, it's like probably, like samurai or like something with like,
Yeah.
but then now like in the Randy character incarnation and the conditioning of like my family and society, it feels like so like nimble and like, like a dare kind of thing, like, oh, violence, so it's almost like it's it's so weird. It's like it feels like it wants it's like there's a boundary. It feels like there's something there that doesn't feel fully in the body, like integrated, but like the higher self knows it like intellectually and like energetically. But like I feel in my body, like if I go to a jail right now, it almost feels like, ooh, like there's all these like psychological associations. So hmm.
Cool. What are those like?
Oh, I think it's more like, I mean, the shape I'm getting is like the octahedron kind of thing. It's kind of like
Let me look
something.
it up.
Yeah, let's see if we could see this on the
Oh, cool. Oh, oh, neat.
something like that, and it's like more 3D, right?
Like
So
multi-dimensional. Yeah.
yeah, so because I think that's been kind of like the thing. Like I think I kind of was established in the like just typical like seven chakras, right? But I do feel like we're kind of revealing just the 3D or like just the dimensions of other points and shapes that kind of makes sense too of just like almost like a spacecraft kind of ET stuff. Yeah, something like this, like visuals of that. And I don't know, it feels like more activated when I'm talking to someone in a way, or like it's always
Mm.
activated, but I guess just like the communication transfers that kind of opens up even more with certain people. Feeling.
Hmm.
It's like a telepathy kind of transfer.
Yeah, it's almost like a technology, huh?
Yeah. Let's see this. Something like that. Like I feel like
Oh, cool. Yeah.
you see it or
It started to share. Let me see. Hasn't come through yet. Maybe my connection's a little slow. I don't know.
no, I think it's yeah. Yeah. Huh? This I feel like it's like just the sharing of documents and images, I feel like is part of it too. Like,
Cool. As a kid, I was always fascinated by Metatron's cube.
ooh, yeah.
I can see it now. That's cool. Did you make that? That's really cool.
No, this one I just found it on this website.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to get like more of
Oh,
a,
Canva, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, Metatron's Cube has been coming online too of just like, yeah, like our Merkaba and template. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea how it works. I'd love to know more. like, in the silence, I'll hear, like it's like the light body vehicle, whatever that means.
Mm. Yeah. I feel like that's the thing too. It's like, yeah, like you're mentioning technology. It's like we're asking questions and it kind of like slowly or even, fastly it will like show up in our consciousness and like having like remembering the physical consciousness or remembering the Merkaba. And it's like, oh shit, I always had this. Like, oh,
Oh man.
crazy. It's like a like looking at your hand. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I hear a lot where they're like all these like infinite number of tools available, but they're useless if we're not connected to the flow of consciousness now. Like, all right, Andy, first step.
That's
Remember the first step, and then all the guidance comes.
yeah, that's kind of feel like the communication too, right? Like when something there's like tension, it's almost like the lock is like off.
Hmm.
So
Floundering. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I know there's all these fears and concerns, like even and if we go fully on one like topic and it doesn't resonate like a year later, it's like doesn't matter. It's like that's where you go. It's like a free will principle, and then you always can like, extract like all of it in your life. Like every little second is worth it, like harvested. And then you're just kind of like, do you feel good or do you feel fulfilled? Like, do you feel right? Kind of like litmus test. And I feel like that's kind of the thing too. Like it's like a litmus test that we're kind of like remembering and receiving of what is actually relevant. Mm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
certain. For joy, just like natural.
Yeah. I feel like the interests change over time in what seems to be the same is like this momentum to love ourselves more and more and more and more. And that feels like the underlying thread unites, whatever topic is being discussed. So it's just following the breadcrumbs or these whispers of light, more and more understanding of who we are and the magnitude, you know. So yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. Completely, absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what's been coming up around the like that 0 point therapy thing is like all about this like staying in resonance, and it's like nothing will come as part of inspiration until you are in like the resonance or this kind of like the frequency of which it will operate in.
direct
So
message.
it's like yeah, it's like staying in joy and an excitement. And when that comes, there's like these tiny little breadcrumbs that'll come out. Um, but other than that, it's just silence,
Yeah.
radio silence.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's just like infinite things to just like opening up, like the body movement or something. It's like you can go look in your whatever it is, like something you might have liked when you were a teenager or something, and then that comes online like a revitalization of passion, but it all like links up somehow. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it feels, I mean, like I went to UC Santa Barbara and it feels like there's like an energy of like, what am I doing here? I don't, I'm just here for school or something, and this is a nice campus or whatnot, but like it just felt like, yeah, like why? Like why am I here? It doesn't feel right. It feels so surreal. But then I think, yeah, like even that memory coming up, I feel like there has to be some like, yeah, love, like revealing of love or revealing of something that's part of me that's willing to like integrate and see for myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because there's no like, oh, there's a spiritual Randy and there's like the 21-year-old Randy. It's like it feels like there's the mind's making a distinction, but it's not like integrating that they're just two different evolutionary cycles or like two different aspects.
Mhm. 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 Yeah, it's like that fractal, just getting more and more refined and joy and excitement as we go. I can feel that for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's kind of like happening kind of like across the board, right? It's like because again, this like sense of there's an awakened you or spiritualized you, but then there's still like fragmented aspects of someone's, yeah, like psyche that just needs to be integrated in that way. It's like what's that expression? Carry water, chop wood, kind of thing. Just like
Mm.
refine
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And then like this freedom where it's like, man, maybe that's not the problem. Maybe it's just the way I was looking at myself.
Yeah.
This way that was so like mean and critical and like so yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just like bringing all these parts in, saying, "Hey, you're cool the way you are. And I appreciate you. Thank you."
Yeah. You can look at it in so many ways. I feel like, oh, I was a really nice kid when I was really little, and then I became like a dick. I don't know if that's true or not, but like you know what I mean? Like you just like oscillate of like a very judgmental emo teenager, and then some a spiritual guy. I was like, all right, that's just like life. Different hats, masks.
Yeah, all glimmers of you were there, but yeah, expressed in a different way.
Like, like,
Like, hey, give me mom.
look at me.
Thanks.
James.
Yeah.
This is me, man. Why aren't you accepting me?
Mm,
Yeah, and then there could be like spouts of anger, like just like and that kind of get plays out, not judging it, but kind of like, yeah, accepting, understanding those little processes that just come along. Like, oh, like I don't think it's gonna be. It just feels like parts of the cycles, different parts of the psyche that just comes up. It's just, all right. Well, if it comes up, just feel it or like express it somehow healthily, positive anger. But then,
mm,
yeah,
mm, mm. Speaking of that, have you done any more of those Nice. Like supported anger containers.
Lately it's been more like individual and it's almost like
Okay. Nice.
like spontaneous. But it's been really interesting how they I feel like I can like reproduce it like a event. Like this is what she did.
Get angry.
That would be awesome stuff, but I feel like people just like that have that in their unconscious, just like this is what you do. And you just see them like the highlights. Testimony. Oh my God, I was so angry. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
And
so I was just thinking that
now it's on the
testimonials. I fucking went off. It's great.
Eddie was right. I did an angry. You have like 50 testimonials. Like, yeah, I thought I was a pretty calm and sweet guy, but I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Blacked out. So I found myself 3 hours later in like a 7-Eleven.
I don't know what happened, but shit happened.
Yes.
Like if somehow it gets like yeah, like manufactured in a way that's like yeah, like authentic and kind of like reproduced and effective, yeah, like it could work for anyone. Like that's where I feel like a joy right now. Like, oh, there's like a sequence to this, there's a protocol that you could reproduce. Because I don't have that like confidence yet of like if I host it, like I could guarantee you you're gonna get angry, you're gonna release it. It's been kind of like people coming through and like speaking in expressions and tongues and but not really like fully releasing.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of intimacy for sure. That's a high calling if you're able to, create that space. I should say create, but just join in a
Yeah,
way that, provides that safety.
exactly.
Oof,
Tune in, yeah.
wow.
Powerful. There's a yeah, like Tony Robbins did like a documentary, and I think it was super powerful to get like this guy who was having like relationship issues, and he was like, if you heal the inner child, you the man becomes like the lion or something. And then he was like, you just saw this like 5 minute thing of him like going through this transformation of him like screaming on the top of his lungs or something. I forgot, but it was just I don't know. It kind of like it felt like there's some magic there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think just to do it to one person or something would be just like that's kind of what I feel too. It's just like if you see it, like I know it's possible because I've done it myself. I've seen it with like other people, but then if you see it in another, it's just like you just harnessing it, like cultivate it,
Mm-hmm.
found something.
Yeah, it's like your own release as well. So cool. Yeah.
Because you see that too, it's like I don't know, it's like not giving myself for full permission because it doesn't feel like fully right. Like maybe this is a judgment. Because I listened to a lot of like screamo music when I was a teenager and kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
know what you mean.
admired, like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome. He's going all out and you can just hear the feeling and stuff. And I still like kind of like come back and listen to that. But like back then I couldn't even like, I would try to mimic it and it just didn't, I just feel like, like a block. I just like, how did he? And then it's just like, I think just I don't know, because it's not so easy. Like people just like people singing or something, and having just a natural ability or just a feeling. But like to get someone that wants to do that and has like a resonance to it and like
Yeah.
get activate something, I think that's so powerful. Because I think people could relate. It's like you want to be able to do something, but you don't know exactly how to do. It could be like whatever it is, trauma or just one step removed from doing that. And I think I like that kind of yeah, like niche of like one step removed. Because there's
Mm,
natural people, natural ability, and then there's also like you need some like care and kind of like specialized work of getting yourself to that initial like step, initial comfortability. Because even for me, like I think I used to be able not to like scream even. It's just like, no, don't scream. But then now I feel like if someone puts me on the spot, I can scream. You know what I mean? So it's like to that in a way, it's like a yeah, accomplishment. You know? Yeah. Because yeah, a lot of people just they just block it. You know, they just
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of trust.
it's like them seeing the joy and value of being themselves.
Yeah, it's like stepping into authenticity, right, in a way that is judged as maybe possibly being disruptive or dangerous or violating, some sort of aspect of cultural norms. But
Exactly.
it's like this is the beginning, the roots are planted and I don't care anymore, It's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah, when it hits the vein, it's like, oh my God, like that's so powerful. And I feel like it's cool too, because like you're talking about like it's you, right? Like you know what works because it's you talking to yourself. It's like that full integration of yourself. So it's like once you hit something that feels like you, it's oh my God, it's so like rewarding because it could be only you like giving you that message or giving you that guidance like this is what you need or this is what works. That is like the fullest you could be. And it's a beautiful journey. It's like playing your own song that you feel like is you.
Who knew that Randy's song was
Yeah. I thought he was such a nice guy, but then
Dude, primo light language?
yeah, dude. I did something similar, like I had like a 1 minute thing. I was like cockroachy and then like because Corn, Jonathan Davis, the singer of Corn, had like a really cool like sound, like guttural sound. It sounded like
Yeah,
Sanskrit.
yeah.
Yes, it was awesome. Very unique and creative in my feelings.
Uh, yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, it was interesting. I had some like that spontaneous light language come through. And it was like very guttural, it's like this, ooh, shit, gosh, da, 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 and it just kept like da 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 da. And it
Yeah,
like just was reverberating. It was so interesting. There's so much energy.
I feel so good. Yeah. If there's something to it, man, I do feel like this spiritual awakening stuff of like coming into the quote unquote upper, position wise, upper chakras levels, but like funneling it down to the solar plexus sacral root and like being more aware of it. And that's the service too. You can enjoy being a human more.
Yeah. Be here, right? Firmly here, grounded in the now versus just, which is where I've spent most of my adult life, is just up here in intellectualization. Come back, yeah.
Come back. There's also, yeah, the game Mortal Kombat had really cool like sounds of just what a good night.
Yeah, I remember that.
Awesome and like original and funny. And it reminded me of like Shaolin monks energy and like the violence, beautiful violence. Yeah, like what a sorceries. Oh, hmm. I can get like a interesting sound ideas, flows. My epic.
Yeah, no, I can do that. I think sound is like a form of resonance similarly to the sacred geometry, but probably it's probably correlates or synonymous. It just seems like such another aspect of,
You say like
you
what
know,
was
easy flow and transmission.
what'd you say was like sacred geometry?
Oh, like sound, you know, it seems like so similar to sacred geometry in that regard is another mechanism to convey,
Mm.
you know, possibly complex concepts and frequency, you know, like the light language you do. And, you know, it's just like, ah, yeah, okay, I feel that.
It's all feeling. Message here is like everything's just feeling, just like light language. How do you feel? How do you receive the most resonant music? How do we feel? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, what's like, how does it, how does it come to you, Randy? Like, is it just you're going throughout the day, boom? You know, what's the flow like for you?
what I'm are you talking about like how light language?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I think it's been like if I feel excited, like I feel like that's it.
Mm.
Comes up like
Yeah,
this is right. This is what your consciousness has to like stay. Yeah, like attunement, like staying tuned in. It's almost like the body just moves in a certain way and then it tunes into like a like highlight this or something or like a vibrational click click tune into it. And then sometimes it just feels like something wants to be yeah, there's like one that feels like it's tuning, and then the other it feels like just like when a dog is like, you know, has his is smiling and has a dog has his tongue out. It just oh, this feels so good.
yeah,
It's like tickly kind of energy. Uh,
yeah,
it
cool.
yeah, it also feels like an insect kind of thing, insect or ET, like one of those things, like a hybrid or like when a cockroach is like kind of thing, but in a very like joyous, almost like delicate, not like a gross way.
Cockroach dance.
Rain Man.
That's
Yeah, there's got to be some fear of like insects. I think that's it too, with like just like the human consciousness of being afraid of yeah insects when it's like ourself or like the aliens, like
yeah,
alien. That's my thought. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Well, yeah, I think it's interesting the distinction between like, yeah, the joyful expression and the attunement one, because I've felt the same. The, there's an attunement one that will come through me, and it's like often like a beep, 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 and then it like gets lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. But I feel like a distillation or like a cleansing almost. Yeah, it's
You see that?
fascinating.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's easy to do. It felt like just the chakras are just kind of like aligning and like
It's
moving.
just like vacillating.
Yeah, yeah. What
And the
beautiful.
other one is like more of a like a heart song, you know, as you would say.
It feels very like like your galactic family. Maybe it's just like the one that's a heart song feels like, hey, brother.
Yeah, keep going. Get your hand out of the blender. Keep going.
It makes a song out of that too. Dubstep, dubstep, like dub.
I could see it. It's gonna be a whole experience, a new experience.
Yeah. Imagine like a festival like that. Everyone just like,
Like, yeah, they're all like contributing their own, right?
what do you want?
It's like
Light.
like complete sovereignty. So it's like there's no stage. It's just everybody doing it communally.
It's like telepathic.
You shorted her circuit.
So
Get her to the side.
you like wave by like this, just like affluent, sitting down.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I can see that happening. Some timeline.
Pop some light.
Yeah, right. Take your divinity tab.
Yeah, dancing with extraterrestrials and animals, architecture.
Right.
It's
All shifting based on your intention.
relationship. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I feel that. Sacred geometries of like all right. Instead of like songs changing, it's like the sacred geometry shape changes. All right, next shape.
That's right, which brings in a different set of codes, right? You're like,
Alien group. Next, like very honest. Is like, whoa, this is like I thought I was honest. Look at this dance. Everyone's like,
oh, well, we'll be the first to start it.
just
All it
like
started in Randy's garage.
we started in the garage, like Steve Jobs kind of instead
Hey,
of
Ashley, you want to come over?
yeah. I'm a vision. Start there.
Gonna catch on, but
Yeah,
it takes trust.
it's all light and sacred geometry. It'll catch on. It's the real computer. It's the cosmic.
Yeah, it brought us here.
It brought us. It's our home. So when you
Yeah.
said about Metatron, though, like how do you feel about like the shape or like your connection to Metatron?
Um, as like a kid, I'd have these like really weird dreams, and I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I was a strange kid, so of course I had tons of weird dreams. But the one that like sticks out was this like enormous being that I couldn't tell was if it was no virtuous or evil, but it would like every time it spoke, the ground would shake because of the depth and the of its resonance of its voice, and all it would say was like Enoch.
You know,
That's it. That's it. And then I would wake up, and there was like this gentle presence that would call itself Metatron, and it was like so kind and like crystalline. And essentially, like over time, it was like basically said that it watched over children. And I would see this image of that, Metatron's cube, and it would like in times I felt afraid, I would see it around my body.
Mm.
And and over time I completely forgot about it. And as an adult, I saw the image and it flashed me back to those experiences. It's like, oh, I just have an affinity for it.
Yeah.
Something that feels safe or expansive or, you know, gentle.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no coincidence. An affinity for possibly a guardian, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I possibly, absolutely. I still have no idea what that like Enoch thing was. It was always like it felt primordial. It felt like it just was like in the middle of like lifetimes. It just felt so odd.
mm,
And maybe it's the mind just couldn't understand it. So, the conclusion was judgment that it was odd. But, you know, maybe it was to open to this Metatron thing. I don't know.
yeah, maybe it's
It's,
like
oh,
connected to the Archangel thing or like the Metatron thing. It's like I think
yeah.
some resonance with the galactic stuff or Archangel stuff. It's like a force field. Yeah, I mean, if it, like as you say, it feels very powerful and resonant, like a timeline or like why you're here kind of thing, incarnations, the archangels, or why we're here. Oh,
Yeah. Archangel Justice League.
it's we're here.
Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that brings me back though, just thinking about it. Like I have never experienced like a tonal resonance that like the vibration felt like it was just shaking the cells in my body.
Makes me goosebumps. I mean, I feel
It was
like
just like, oh, fuck.
it's like the free will thing. I felt like that's kind of more quote unquote real, but then yeah, like there's still like the human free will principle. Like if people kind of see that, then it's like kind of like not safe in a way. It's almost like a like breaking their mind or something, which isn't what actually like unconditional love wants. So it's like there's some principle or rules or something. But yeah,
Mm,
imagine like just everything is just like Justice League. There's like superpowers. So it's like that's where my discernment is like too. It's like I know like that's the actual real reality, but is it actually relevant for us as like Earth? Like, is that why we're here?
mm. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe it's the freedom. I mean,
yeah.
what resonates too is like just the paradise. That's like Earth as like a utopia. Maybe that's a word that resonates, but not even.
Mm.
Yeah, like something to do with like love and understanding. Like if it's about love and understanding, I feel like that's why we're here. Everything else kind of feels like secondary of like even superpowers, like if it's not love and understanding, then it doesn't feel like that's why we're here. But who knows? Yeah, maybe
I
there's
feel that too. Like all in service of that, everything can be used for that product, for that. It's not really an end result. It's just an embodiment now of that. So all
yeah,
the tools coming online to do that more efficiently and effectively and powerfully, you
yeah,
know, as we open to more and more Andy or Randy.
yeah, yeah. And it's almost like you get like a pushback, right? Like the more you're yourself, and it feels like um yeah, there's that residue of fear of like it coming out, like, oh, what if they can't take myself or something? But that's just kind of like the whole process of like seeing that okay, no, there's like infinite of you that people can take or you can take or I can take. And yeah, like that I feel like that's beautiful in the sense of like there's infinite expansion. It's like even like what we imagine in sense what our capability is, it's like I feel like even that is still nothing compared to the infinite capacity that we really have. True. So it's like, yeah, might as well just go all the way. I mean,
That's right. That's right. I feel like that resonance of going all the way is just bringing all the reflections of that choice to love ourselves over and over and over and over, which is like almost like the age of love and understanding is just for us to enjoy that, you know,
Yeah, enjoying
we're
it.
not doing anything. It's just we're we're embodying that and it's just becomes so much fun.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. The fun part, yeah. So kind of remember the fun. The fun is like key quality slash characteristic of this age. Fun. Saint Germain, joy is fun. And then yeah, like not judging the fun, like me jumping on a trampoline could be fun. Some other people may not be fun, who knows? Like me screaming may not be fun for some people else, but if it's my fun, it's like me owning it or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like the conduit by which we connect back to, the flow of ourselves. So cool. Only our experience, only our life to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Only us, no judgment. Mm. And that's beautiful too. Yeah, like any of those judgments is just revealing the conditioning.
Yeah. Like opening more and more to that conditioning for me, thinking about it, and that happens, I just realized I have so much more capacity to allow others to rest within that energy that I've given myself, you know?
Yeah. And it feels like a superpower to just like the awareness of it, like awareness of our gifts and capabilities and what works, what molds, expanding ourselves, polishing the edges ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So me, again, getting back to the fun, it's just it'd be so much fun to see just how easy it can get. All the things, all the tools that come in to play that are like seemingly miraculous to us in this moment that we'll say are like, oh yeah, that's commonplace. That's secondary, you know?
Well,
Like, what? This could have been so easy when I was X age.
oh, it's all right, whatever. Take it. Convert it. It's like we psych ourselves out. It's like, yeah, it's actually way easier. But yeah, I mean, you still have to go through like the psych out. Oh, because it's so hard. How to keep the ball moving, like the bike.
That's right. That's right. But I guess just for me, it's just enjoying the journey now and, like whatever. It's just allowing everything to come to me and just being so excited and grateful for what's arising. It's like, God, I can't believe I've been like I think that's a big thing over the last couple of weeks is just starting to really recognize all the miracles that are, coming. It's just like I would have just, they're like, ah, whatever, that was like a coincidence. But now it's like, no, wow, so
Yeah,
cared for. My God, that's
yeah.
so cool.
Going back to like the screamo stuff, it's like denying that. Like even it made sense that I didn't do that when I was younger too. Like what like it's just like different trajectories that's like, how come I didn't go in that direction or something? But like, yeah, I think everything is still just used. It's like used for like whatever you want to use. Like if I want to go in any direction, like I have full permission to do that. And it always like balances out or like harmonizes in some way to what is actually relevant, like as a soul or for service.
Yeah. Mhm.
I've been like so there's some certain places I grew up around here, and it's almost like finding a different part. Like I wasn't like I'd probably go in a certain vicinity, but wasn't like aware of certain areas. And it's like, oh, okay, this is perfect for me now at this point in my life, etc. And it's like, so this, oh yeah, it feels like yeah, nice revealment of like when things are ripe, and it's like, all right,
Mm, mm, perfect.
everything's perfect.
Dude, the guy sitting at the other table just talking about how he's interested in spiritual enlightenment.
Oh wow, dang.
Yeah, it's so perfect. Just all these beautiful reflections.
It's like you had like auditoriums, right? Like growing up, like just like people in the like yeah, like certain days in school, someone they would just have like a random school meeting, and then it's like today we're talking about spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah. Like another reflection in the field, I went to like this work retreat. I have like a forensic consulting group. Um, that's, part of my, one of, many things I do day to day. And this group is like, like spirituality is not a part of this group at all.
Yeah, like
And like they are like very much about, precision, analytics, all this stuff. And that's great. That's their passion. And so our facilitator starts the starts like the whole retreat with like, I want to bring us down into presence. And so we were just like all relaxed, and she just kept going like, and I want you all to just sit in this experience that we're all just allowing and receiving the beauty of ourselves in every moment. I'm like looking at the group, I'm like,
give it up
what? The most random thing.
an
Like
ocean.
I'm in this like group where like, like they're so analytical and they're just sitting there like, like it's like a total mind fuck.
It no bigger tool like comes out. Just be present. That's awesome, man. That's like where you know the consciousness is just like the whole
Just,
realm.
yeah, it's just giving me more and more trust to say like, yes, everything shifts around the resonance, that you're holding in your heart. It's like just everything's reflecting back in a way, maybe not all the time. Maybe it's reflecting the cumulative momentum of your past choices, so to speak. But it was like a very definitive, but like everything the woman was saying was something that I held very dear in my heart. You know, it was just like,
Oh man. I'm so
I
glad.
just
Yeah,
can't make this shit up.
feel a shift right now. Just like whatever happened, like your share, like how we received it. Yeah. I felt a lot of light. That's awesome. Just like remembering, yeah, like grace, like periods of grace like that. Just like opening up.
Yeah,
What
it's like that courtroom experience for me. It's like no matter how rigid or like solidified I think something is, it's always wrong. Like I will always be shown that it's a reflection of this like deeper desire or what I am putting out there into the world, And it's just like there's no such thing as being stuck. It's like there's always the choice, and it makes it a lot easier, a lot more fun. I have to be careful to get down on myself when that reflection is not, pristine, but there's still the choice to change it in that moment, like so. It's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had something similar like with my grandma. Like for some reason, like there's this like belief I was gonna get like hammered or something by like guilt, like why didn't you come visit or something? But yeah, like that, I could choose that or something like reveal like, oh, actually she like I just felt like a ping in my like right hemisphere, and I was like, oh, okay, I felt like I said the right thing, or I chose to do the right thing, and it was like a intentional card for her in like Chinese or something. But yeah, it felt right. Like it felt like the game was like, yeah, like I did quote unquote made the right move, and kind of like these configurations were just
Just
like
kidding.
good job. And yeah, I feel like you said, it's like there's always opportunity in any like configuration, especially yeah, like with interactions of other people. Like it's almost like the game has these characters and like they can be used and will be used for that highest
Mhm.
ding 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 kind of like game reward. Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
in a way too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just always choosing that limitlessness. Yeah, grace and divinity.
All this preparation for something big too. It's like,
Yeah, be something big that's so easy and fun. It's like, wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
this or something better. It's like, oh, honestly, way
Mhm.
better.
Oh, yeah. I do feel like something's being orchestrated in such a playful way. So, I'm always going to be open. Well, I'm open now, and that's all I could say, I suppose.
Like, we still have to move the body somewhere. Okay.
Right.
Certain interaction.
Or it's in Randy's garage doing our light language rave, or
It's like MacBook, iPhone speakers. Oh, look at that. We got like Jesus statue, Buddha statue,
like
keyboard.
these crazy mudras coming out. I don't even know what's happening in my body.
Yeah, not the body. Sounds.
Oh.